For a session presented by Global Hotel Alliance, please welcome the CEO of Global Hotel Alliance, Chris Hartley, and the CEO of Minor Hotels and Group CEO of Minor International, Dillip Rajakarier, in conversation with Skift ex-Senior Branded Content Editor, Darren Free.
All right. Hello, everyone. Gentlemen, welcome to Skift Global Forum. So we just heard from Elie Maalouf about the sort of big picture view of global hospitality's growth. Let's talk about independent hotels. So Chris, when you think about independent hotels, are you thinking more, is it about adding hotels to the portfolio, or is there something bigger behind that?
Well, good morning, everyone, and it's great to be back at Skift Global Forum. Just for those that don't know Global Hotel Alliance or weren't here last year when we were talking about it, so we're an alliance of nearly 50 brands now. In 2026, we'll actually hit the 1,000 hotel mark, which is quite exciting. But we're not really as such focused on growth. We're a privately owned joint venture. We're owned by a group of brands that are owner-operators, one of them being Minor, and you're going to hear from Dillip in a minute. So brands, you can see some of them on the screen, brands like Kempinski, Pan Pacific, Leela in India, for example, Capella Group. These are independently operated brands around the world. And so what we've done is collaborated to create a shared loyalty platform. You've heard Elie talking about the importance of loyalty, the importance of engaged customers, and we very much provide that as a solution for independent brands for whom it is very expensive to reach an end customer, purely because of their size. In other words, they rely too heavily on third parties. We have brands joining the alliance that may have 50% of their business coming from online travel agents, for example. So if you're an owner-operator, that's a very high cost of sale. So we've created this collaborative loyalty platform called GHA Discovery. And yes, we would like to grow. So new markets, we want to have new customers. We're 32 million customers today. But we're also a smaller company that has no need to grow for the sake of growth. It's very much about the quality of customers that we bring in, focus on the upscale and luxury segment.
Okay. And speaking of growth, I know Minor Hotels is expanding in the United States. First of all, congratulations. With weakening demand in the U.S., why did now feel like the right time, or does it still feel like the right time to make a U.S. expansion?
Well, I think for us, good morning all, and it's great to be here in the U.S. For us, we feel the time is right. Especially, I think when you look at the U.S., the global travel, the market here itself, it's one of the largest in terms of global travel compared to rest of the economies. In terms of seeking luxury, seeking lifestyle, and seeking other experiences, because everyone talks about experiential travel, and I think that plays straight into our strengths, because Anantara and all our brands have focused on experiences from the time we actually launched the brand. This is like 25 years ago. I think we were the first ones to talk about guest experiences and creating that experiences. So I think for us, the timing is great. US being a great segue into global travel as well. We have about more than 15% of our guests coming outside from the US coming to our hotels outside the US. And also, like, as we have created scale, today Minor Hotels is like clocking about 650 hotels, and like looking forward to launch about at least 1,000 hotels in the next 5 years. This is the right time for us to really leverage on the US market and really start to expand on the US market as well.
Okay, and I think this is your New York property, is that right?
Yeah, this is our NH collection in New York, and hopefully more to come in the US.
Great, great. I know, with Global Hotel Alliance, it provides you with loyalty at scale without the big brand costs associated with that. So Chris, how do you get that message across to other independent hotel owners?
Well, I think the key message, first of all, is we're generally owner-operated brands. So about 70%, I think mine is similar, about 70% of the hotel brands in the Alliance are made up of owner-operators. So for them, the cost of sale is very important. So a very simple message at the beginning is we can help you to reduce your dependence on third parties, and we can reduce your cost of acquisition. At the same time, we can give you reach into a far bigger database of customers that you wouldn't be able to get to on your own, and that gives you incremental revenue opportunities. So to give you some numbers, we turn over on the loyalty program about $3 billion, But about 15% of that is moving between the brands. And about $1 billion of that, so about 400 million of that is moving between the brands. About $1 billion of that is repeat business. Now that's repeat business and cross-brand, what we call cross-brand business, coming at about a 10% lower cost of sale than if it goes through a third-party online travel agent. So what we see, as I mentioned earlier, 50% of customers entering into our loyalty ecosystem have come from booking in an online travel agent. And we get penalized very heavily as smaller brands by the OTAs because we don't have the negotiating ability. So if we can move one of those customers to a direct channel, that's going to save an owner, like Dillip is with many of his hotels, 10 to 15% in cost of sale, and that's going to go straight through to their bottom line. That gives a very compelling ROI, typically about 17 times profit contribution on every dollar spent. So
yeah. You know, with the mix of hotels, I want to talk about the mix within the network. I mean, you've often talked about this, about the hotels, they complement each other, they don't compete with each other. How do you decide if a hotel is the right fit? Can you give us a little bit of background on that?
Well, I think we're looking for two things. We're looking for adding hotels in markets that are popular for customers. Dillip's from Sri Lanka originally. We just signed a beautiful Sri Lankan brand called Cinnamon Hotels. Very popular destination, so it's great to be able to have more choice in a market like Sri Lanka, which is very popular for high-end leisure travelers, which is our sweet spot. And then, of course, there's source markets like the US. The US is our #1 outbound market, and so we would like to have more brands in this market. We have Viceroy and Outrigger, for example, as brands presence in this market, plus some individual hotels. But we don't have enough presence in the market in order to drive the sort of outbound business that we could, despite the fact that 70% of our US business is international travelers. It's the highest yielding segment, but we don't have enough hotels in this market. So it's a combination of finding brands that are authentic, they're very local brands that wouldn't necessarily be known internationally. Leela Hotels in India is an example. Their #1 market is the US, but you wouldn't know necessarily Leela automatically if you were going to that market. So we're looking for brands that fit this niche of independence, of local brands that bring local culture to the islands and give customers a richer choice, but at the same time give us the scale that we need to compete with the IHGs of the world.
Yeah, and Dillip, you know, Minor is one of those choices. I'll pose the same question to you in terms of the right fit. What makes Global Hotel Alliance kind of a right fit for you?
I think it's fairly easy because for us, Global Hotel Alliance, the DNA of Global Hotel Alliance is all about choice, about simplicity, and also about giving the customer the right experiences as well. And it's important to have like-minded brands within that ecosystem, because otherwise, like, you know, for example, with the larger chains, you know, with the Marriotts, you can only travel within the Marriotts under the Bonvoy. But with us, you have, with Global Hotel Alliance, you have 40 different brands with over about 1,000 hotels, where, you know, the customers have the choice. The loyalty program is very simple. It's a dollar-based, simple program. It's not a points-based program where, you know, you have to calculate the number of points to burn in a hotel, because it's very easy. You have dollars which you can exchange, and it gives you a choice within the whole ecosystem to travel within the 40 different brands, which are like-minded and at that upper upscale luxury segment as well, to ensure that the guests are getting that experiential travel and making sure that they have a fantastic, memorable experience within any of the brands of GHA.
Mm-hmm. And I'll stay on you for a moment, and then we'll go to Chris, but with the same question. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the economic uncertainty and the volatile climate that we're living in right now with travel. I guess, Dillip, how do you stay optimistic? Is there something in this shared loyalty model that sort of protects you against these types of volatile events in the marketplace?
I think it's important to have the loyalty element in your ecosystem, because that really drives loyalty, it drives brand recognition, and it also drives demand into the locations as well. Yes, there is uncertainty in the market, because globally, like, you know, if you look at every single country, there is something going on. But I think in terms of travel and tourism, the numbers are pretty strong. And today, as long as you offer that experience, and what people are seeking for, just not sea, sun, and sand experience, but it's something more. Like it's the wellness, it's the hotel experience, and it's the linking to the culture. And I think it's really important, and loyalty plays a big role in that.
Mm-hmm. And the luxury market itself is much more resilient as well. But Chris, I'll let you answer the same question.
Generally speaking, we're optimistic that we're in the right space. We have a lot of amazing, perhaps not so well known, but we have some amazing products, brands that are really operating at the highest end of the market, typically in the upscale and luxury segment. If you look at the number of hotels that we have in the upscale and luxury segment, you've seen some of these brands appearing on the screen. We're actually over 600 upscale and luxury hotels. Now, there's only Marriott that has more than we do, but we're just not that well known. So we don't have the hundreds of millions or even billions of marketing dollars that the third parties have. We are really struggling to compete in terms of cost of sale, but we've got some great products. And the best way to get that product out there is to collaborate, and that really works. Now, the question is, are we going to be resilient enough with the uncertainty that we face? I think we're in the right segment. We're in the leisure segment. We're in international travel, which has shown itself to be more resilient than ever. This market, just as a number for 2025, has grown. The US market grew 15% in international leisure demand this year for us, despite everything that's been happening over the last 12 months. So we're optimistic that 2026 will see continued growth in leisure demand. We feel we're in the right space with upscale and luxury and international travelers, of which 70% of our members are traveling internationally, which again is quite unique in this loyalty program environment. So we're optimistic for next year. We think there are more brands that will join the alliance. There are more independents out there that want to be part of a collaborative organization like ours.
You're getting close to 1,000, is that right?
That's the goal for next year. That's the expectation.
Great. We're out of time, but thank you very much, you guys. If you'd like to learn more about Global Hotel Alliance or just look at more of these amazing images, just visit globalhotelalliance.com. Thanks.
Thank you.
See you.
Thanks very much.